A Corvette with over 1,200 horsepower. Not a concept, not a rumor. It's real, it's happening, and it's called the Zora. If that name rings a bell, you know where this is going. If it doesn't, well, you're about to find out why it matters. A lot. So let's ease into this. Everyone knows the Corvette. It's been America's sports car for decades. It's the car people put on their bedroom walls, the one dads talk about at barbecues, and the name people use when they say, you know, for the price, you really can't beat a Corvette. And now, it's stepping way out of its weight class. We're talking about a car that might embarrass multi-million-dollar hypercars like the Bugatti Chiron or the Koenigsegg Regera. Yeah, that's serious. But before we jump into the Zora's guts, let's take a quick step back. This all starts with Zora Arkus Duntov. He wasn't the inventor of the Corvette, but he sure as hell was the one who made it fast. He stuck a V8 in it back in the 50s, pushed for racing, and started dreaming of a mid-engine Corvette long before it was cool. GM didn't bite back then, but they're making up for lost time now, and naming their most radical Corvette after him is more than fitting. It's poetic. Fast forward to today, and the Zora is quietly taking shape. No official launch just yet, but the clues are all there. Camouflage test mules have been spotted at the Nürburgring. People are snapping spy shots with the kind of dedication usually reserved for celebrity scandals. And under all that camouflage, there's no mistaking it. This thing is part ZR1, part E-Ray, all monster. Let's break it down. The ZR1 itself is no slouch. With a 1,064 horsepower twin-turbo V8, it already leaves most exotics shaking in their carbon fiber boots. And then Chevy goes and says, cool, let's add an electric motor up front. The one from the E-Ray, no less. That motor puts down 160 horsepower. Do the math. 1,064 plus 160 equals 1,224 horsepower. Let that number marinate. But horsepower alone isn't the story. Anybody can stuff a big engine into a car and call it a day. Dodge did it with the Demon 170. Bugatti does it all the time. But track performance? That's where most of them tap out. That's where things get interesting. Because the ZR1 already holds lap records at Watkins Glen, VIR, Road America, you name it. And it does this with a chassis setup that includes double wishbones, magnetic ride control, and a whole lot of suspension wizardry. Now imagine that setup tweaked to handle more power, more weight, and way more downforce. We're talking serious aero, splitters, dive planes, rear wings, diffusers, maybe even some trick active components. Not flashy for the sake of looks, but functional, purpose-built. You might be wondering, won't all that electric stuff make it heavy? Sure, the E-Ray's hybrid system adds around 100 pounds with its 1.92 kilowatt battery. But when you've got over 1,200 horses and GM's engineers dialing in the suspension to perfection, that extra weight is more like a footnote than a problem. And let's not gloss over speed. The ZR1 already does 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds and the quarter mile in 9.6. The Zora, expect under 2 seconds to 60 miles per hour, and a quarter mile time dipping into the 8s. And a top speed? Well, north of 240 miles per hour. All of this in a car expected to cost under $200,000. For context, that's about 1/10 the price of the Bugatti it might outrun. Still, Chevy isn't just working on performance. Spy shots show the interior is getting a rethink. That weird wall of buttons in the current C8, gone. In its place, a cleaner, more open layout that feels less like a fighter jet and more like a proper cockpit you can actually use. Bigger screens, better symmetry, and a lot more passenger friendly. There's still plenty we don't know. Will it be AWD like the E-Ray? Probably. Will it have new drive modes? Highly likely. Will it sound like a spaceship or a chainsaw orchestra? Hopefully both. And while GM hasn't officially said a word about it, the dots are there just waiting to be connected. The Zora isn't just a rumor anymore. It's the Corvette finally walking into the supercar arena like it owns the place. And when it lands, likely in 2026 or 2027, it could shake up the entire performance world. If at all you thought this was wild, wait until you hear what Chevy's cooking up next. But that's a story for another day.